Ubisoft, the renowned game developer behind popular franchises like Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, is facing a legal battle over its decision to shut down the always-online racing game. Released in 2014, gained a dedicated following for its vast open world and multiplayer features. However, the game's requirement for a constant internet connection, even for single-player mode, has become a point of contention. Players have filed a lawsuit against Ubisoft, alleging that the company misled them about the game's lifespan and their ownership rights. This lawsuit raises crucial questions about the future of always-online games and the rights of players in the digital age. The lawsuit, filed in California, centers around the claim that Ubisoft failed to adequately disclose the limitations of playing an always-online game. Players argue they were led to believe they were purchasing a complete game experience, only to be left with an unplayable product after the server shut down. The outcome of this case could have significant ramifications for the gaming industry, potentially influencing how games are developed, marketed, and ultimately experienced by players worldwide. The lawsuit is still in its early stages, and it remains to be seen how the court will rule. However, the case has already sparked a wider conversation about the balance between innovation and consumer rights in the rapidly evolving digital landscape. The lawsuit against Ubisoft hinges on the argument that players were not adequately informed about the limitations associated with its always-online nature. Players who purchased the game believed they were acquiring a product they could enjoy indefinitely, much like a traditional single-player game. However, the game's dependence on Ubisoft servers meant that once those servers were shut down, the game would become inaccessible, rendering their purchase obsolete. The plaintiffs argue that Ubisoft's marketing and sales practices did not sufficiently highlight the game's limited lifespan. They claim that the company failed to explicitly state that players were essentially purchasing a license to access the game's servers. This lack of transparency, they contend, constitutes deceptive practices and a violation of consumer protection laws. Furthermore, players express frustration that they are unable to enjoy even the single-player elements of the game offline. The always-online requirement, they argue, essentially holds their gameplay hostage to the whims of the developer and the longevity of their servers. This, they believe, undermines the value of their purchase and limits their ability to enjoy a game they paid for. The lawsuit aims to hold Ubisoft accountable for what they perceive as a lack of transparency and fairness in their business practices. The players are seeking compensation for their purchases and are pursuing class action status to represent others who feel similarly aggrieved by the shutdown of its servers. The lawsuit against Ubisoft brings to light the growing concerns surrounding the always-online model in the gaming industry. While online connectivity has undoubtedly enriched gaming experiences, allowing for multiplayer interactions and dynamic content updates, the always-online requirement has also introduced a level of vulnerability for players. Games designed with this model are entirely dependent on the continued operation of external servers, putting players at the mercy of factors beyond their control. The shutdown of servers exemplifies the potential consequences of this model, leaving players with a sense of loss and frustration. For many, the game represented not just entertainment, but a community, a space for shared experiences and camaraderie. The abrupt termination of these servers severs those connections, leaving players with a sense. Moreover, the always-online model raises concerns about the longevity and preservation of video games. Unlike their physical counterparts, digital games can vanish into the ether when servers are shut down, effectively erasing a part of gaming history. This ephemeral nature of digital games challenges traditional notions of ownership and access, prompting questions about the long-term implications of this shift in the industry. As the gaming landscape continues to evolve, the debate surrounding the always-online model is likely to intensify. Players are becoming increasingly vocal about their desire for more transparency, control, and preservation options in a digital age where access to their purchased games can be revoked at. The lawsuit against Ubisoft holds implications that extend far beyond the confines of a single game. It shines a spotlight on the broader issue of digital ownership in the gaming industry, a topic that has been a subject of debate for years. Traditionally, consumers associate purchasing a product with owning a tangible copy of that product. However, in the digital realm, the lines become blurred. When players purchase a digital game, they are often acquiring a license to access that game, not necessarily owning a copy outright. This distinction becomes particularly significant when servers are involved, as seen with always-online games. The shutdown of its servers highlights the precarious nature of this arrangement, demonstrating the outcome of this lawsuit could potentially set a legal precedent, influencing how game companies approach server shutdowns and digital ownership disclosures in the future. A ruling in favor of the plaintiffs could prompt developers and publishers to be more transparent about the limitations of always online games, potentially including sunset clauses in their terms of service, or offering alternative ways to access games once servers are shut down. Furthermore, this case underscores the need for greater consumer protection in the digital marketplace, as digital distribution becomes the norm. This includes addressing concerns about the longevity of digital games, the preservation of gaming history. This is not a slight on Ubisoft. I love Ubisoft. They were a part of my childhood. Rayman is one of my top favorite platformers. This is sad to see their downfalls and all the recent reports on things I can't mention on here. Anyway, tell me what you think about this class action lawsuit. Until next time.